Good afternoon, students. So today I had selected under CHO. The topic is mental health and de-addiction program. Mental health nowadays is a matter of a concern because every person with this ongoing stressful life, that much busy life schedule everyone have, that they don't have a time to spend with the family member, with the friend, to share out their stress, and that hampers our mental health. And if there is any imbalance in any aspect of the health, either it is a physical, mental, social, or a spiritual, means there is alteration in the health of the person. By the government, mental health was enacted for the benefits of society and for the promotion of the mental health. So we will discuss it today. So, by the end of this session, you all will be able to define what is the mental health, and we will discuss the mental health bill that was passed in 2013 and understand the Mental Health Care Act that was amended in 2017. Understand the de-addiction program. De-addiction program we will take in the next class. So, today it will be just the mental health. Now we will start with the introduction part. Already I told you mental health is one of the integral part or one of the aspect of the health, and is more than the absence of mental illness. Mental health doesn't mean that there will be absence of any mental disease, mental disorder or illness mean you are mentally healthy. No, mental health include lot of things. As per the World Health Organization, mental health is a state of a well-being in which every individual realizes his or her own potential, can cope with the normal stresses of the life, can work productively and fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to her or his community. So it is just not the absence of illness, it is the state of a well-being jahan pe every individual realize what their energies are, what their potential are, what they can achieve, what they can do, and how they are coping up. Yeah, means facing the situation, how situation they used to cope with that, what work they are doing, is it they are efficient enough to do that work or not, or is they are able to contribute toward the community or not. So these all are the aspects that are contributing toward the complete definition of the mental health in a society or in the community, which is given by the World Health Organization. So now we will discuss the Mental Health Care Bill that was passed in 2013. So Mental Health Care Bill 2013, which repeals Mental Health Act 1987, was introduced in the Rajya Sabha on August 19, 2013. So, firstly, the Mental Health Act was passed in 1987, and 2013 bill is the repeal of that act, and it was passed by the Rajya Sabha at on 19th August 2013. So, the new bill was introduced with an aim to adequately protect the rights of persons with the mental illness. So this bill was just passed for the protection of the right of mentally ill person, or promote the access to the mental health care, so that the person can reach to the mental health care services that are being provided by the government to the society people, so that they can become aware of every mental health facilities that are available in India. And there should be protection of the mentally ill person. They should not be bullied by the society, they should not be ignored, they should not be stigmatized. So all these things were there, and that's why the bill was passed in 2013. So the key feature for that bill are a right of a person with mental illness. So in that bill it was mentioned that the right of the mentally ill person should be protected as same as the normal general population of India. There are the right of mentally ill people that should be respected and that should be allowed to follow. Means they are the same human beings, and they have some right that should be protected, and there should be following of that rights for the protection of the mentally ill persons. Advanced directive means it is directive. Advanced means giving the direction for upcoming, or can say the health services that are available for the mentally ill person. Setting up of a central and the state mental health authorities. Okay, so in this bill it was mentioned that the central or the state authorities should be there, who are able to conduct the inspection in the hospital, who are able to provide the license to the nursing home, to the mental hospital, or to the general hospital, to start up the psychiatric unit there. And there are certain criterias that has to be met by, or that has to be fulfilled by the hospitals to start the psychiatric unit. So that's what it was mentioned. Either at the state level have their own authorities, and the central level they have their own authorities, and they used to regulate, mean they used to formulate the rules, they used to formulate rule regarding admission, discharge, conduct the inspections, or maintain the complete efficient mental health care. That's what the purpose are. Next is decriminalizing suicide and prohibiting electroconvulsive therapy. तो decriminalizing suicide मतलब so that the mentally ill person, those who are with, they should not be made commit to the suicide, ठीक है, to protect them from getting homicide, attempt a suicide. For that there was the amendment of this bill, and prohibiting the electroconvulsive therapy. Okay, so electroconvulsive therapy is not like कि if someone came to you with a mental illness, you just given it as the first choice of a drug for the patient. No, sorry, choice of a treatment for the patient. No, it is not like that. Electroconvulsive therapy is the ultimatum. When other drugs, when other therapies are not working out, then only we used to go or jump to the electroconvulsive therapy. So to avoid the unnecessary use or irrelevant use of the electroconvulsive therapy, 2013 bill was passed. Now we will talk about the Mental Health Care Act 2017. So the Mental Health Care latest amendment is by 2017. It was passed on the 7th April 2017 and came into force from the July 7, 2018. So it is the latest amendment. Mean it is amendment matlab what, that any act was passed in year 1982, sorry 87, then with the time, with the change, the gradual change in the time, in the society, in the technology, in the modernality, so there is the requirement to bring change in the laws and the rules. So according to the current situation, there is the formulation of the new situation, new circumstances that require new rules. So that is called amendment. Means it is the like addition, subtraction of something to make the act kind of stronger and more effective and efficient. So this act sorry suppressed the previously existing Mental Health Act 1987 that was passed on 22 May 1987. So it was the change in that act that was passed in 1987, 22 May. The revised Mental Health Care Act fulfills India's obligation toward the Convention of Right of the Person with Disabilities, as well as optional protocol attached with the convention. So that the latest amendment is including to protect the right of the mentally disabled, include mentally and even the physical, or those who are in the need of the psychological help, to protect their rules, rights and sexes. The it include the optional protocol attached with the convention. Next, Mental Health Care Act 2017, an act to provide for mental health care and services for a person with mental illness, and to protect, promote, and fulfill the right of such person during the delivery of mental health care and services, on for matter connected therewith or incidental thereto. So, what is in 2017 Act? It is for the mental health and services. Means it is emphasizing over the mental health and the services that are available, and to promote and protect and fulfill the right of the, promote भी करना, protect भी करना and fulfill जो person के rights हैं. during the delivery. Means, just take an example, you can't use them as a guinea pig for the research study until or unless there is the consent from the patient side or the family member side. You have to maintain the privacy of that patient's confidentiality. Recording and reporting should be in confidentiality, so all those things come under the protection and can say promotion and protection even of the mentally ill patient. And so next we will talk about the chapters. So chapter first is the preliminary. So according to this chapter there are certain terms and the definition that has been mentioned and explained. It include first is the mental health. So mental health means a substantial disorder of thinking, mood, perception, orientation, or the memory that grossly impair the judgment. So it is a kind of a disorder, or can say if there is alteration in the or can say there is disintegrity in the person's thinking, mood, perception, orientation, that all are the aspect of the mental status examination, जिसकी वजह से there is the impairment in the judgment, behavior, capacity to recognize the reality, or ability to meet the ordinary demands of the life. So mental condition associated with the abuse of the alcohol and the drug, but does not include the mental retardation, which is condition of arrested or incomplete development. So in the 1987 act, it was like a mental retardation was also included in the mental illness, but in 2013 that mental illness was not a condition that we include in the mental illness, or it is because of just incomplete development of a mind of the person. Means it is the immature mind or a brain development, because of which the mental retardation is there, so it is not included in the mental illness, specially characterized by subnormality of intelligence. So that's what there was a difference, ki mental retardation was excluded out of the mental illness, and the other disorder that are because of the incomplete development of person's mind. Next is the mental health professionals. So mental health professionals are who a professional having a postgraduate degree in ayurveda, in manovigyan, avam manas roga, that is in Ayurveda in Hindi, or a post graduation degree in homeopathy, in psychiatry, or a post graduation degree in Unani, in Molijat, that is Nafasiyat, or a postgraduate degree in Siddha in Sirapu Maruthuvam. So, preliminary mental health establishment means any health establishment including the Ayurveda, Yoga and Naturopathy, Unani, Siddha and Homeopathy establishment, why whatever name called. So, include everything Ayush, complete Ayush, Ayurveda, Unani, Yoga, Siddha, Homeopathy, every aspect of our complementary health system of India, either wholly or partly meant for the care of a person with mental illness, established, owned, controlled, or maintained by the appropriate government, local authority, trust, with whether private or a public corporation, government, local authorities, trust, or sorry, whether private or the public corporation, cooperative societies, organization, or any other entity or the person where the persons with mental illness are admitted and reside at or kept in for care, treatment, convalescence, and rehabilitation. Sorry. Where the person with a mental illness admit rehabilitation, either the temporarily or otherwise, and includes any general hospital or the general nursing home established or maintained by appropriate government, local authority, trust, whether the private or the public, a corporation, cooperative society, organization, or any other entity or the person, but does not include a family residential place where a person with a mental illness reside with his relative or the friend. So it's come in the mental health establishment. Now we will discuss under the chapter in 2 what it's come. Deal with the mental illness and the capacity to make the mental health care and the treatment decisions. Determination of the mental illness. So mental illness shall be determined in the accordance with such nationality and internationality aspects as- accepted medical standards, including the latest edition of the International Classification of the Diseases of the World Health Organization, as may be notified by the central government. A capacity to make the mental health care and treatment decisions. So every person, including a person with the mental illness, shall be deemed to have a capacity to make the decision regarding his mental health care or the treatment with certain clause. Now in chapter 3 it is about the advance directive. So advance directive, every person except the minor has the right to take the advance directive by writing specifying any or all of the following, namely the way the person wish to be cared for and treated for the mental illness. So it is the choice of the person, the way the person wished not to be cared for and treated for a mental illness, the thing he want to avoid or neglect. The individual or the individuals in order of precedence have he want to appoint as he nominated a representative as provided under section 14. So they have the choice to choose their representative. Next, manner of making the advance directive. So any decision made by a person while he has the capacity to make the mental health care and the treatment decisions shall override any previously written advance directive by such person. Next is the maintenance of the online registers. So every ward shall maintain an online register of all the advance directives, register with it and make them available to the concerned mental health professionals as and when they required. So that's come in the advance directive. First, they have the choice, they have the right to take the decision, or can say means they can have their own decision, either they want to have the care or the treatment or not. And then second, they have the right to choose their representative or the nominate, they can nominate their representative. Next, they had discussed about the making a advance directive, so how to take a decision. And then maintenance of online registers, that every record report of the patient to be registered or to be collected, or there should be a compilation of a whole health record or other record at the electronic level or online should be there. So and next is the re- revocation, amendment, or the cancellation of the advance directive. So an advance directive made under the section 6 may be revoked, amended, and cancelled by the person who made it at any time. So the person who had made the amendment or revocation, they can cancel it out anytime, anywhere, whensoever they want to. Next is advance directive not to apply to the emergency treatment. So advance directive means choice for the choice of the patient is not available or is not acceptable at the emergency condition where there is a threat to the person's life. So here it is written, the advance directive shall not be applied to the emergency treatment. A duty to follow advance directive, it shall be the duty of every medical officer of a mental health establishment and the psychiatrist in charge of a person's treatment to propose or give the treatment to the person with the mental illness. So it is the duty, means it is the responsibility of the mental health officer or the psychiatrist or other psychologist whosoever is providing care to the patient, to make them to provide them with the choices, and the choices chosen by the person is completely depend on the patient or only on him. Next is power to review, alter, modify or cancel the advance directive. So they have the power, either they want to review it, either they want to bring any kind of a change in that advance directive, or they want to modify it. So patient can do it anywhere, anytime. Review of the advance directive. Next, liability of the medical health professionals in relation to the advance directive. Next is chapter 4, that is nominated representative. So, appointment and the revocation of the nominated representative. So, they can appoint or they can revocate the representative by themselves, nominated representative of the minors. So, notwithstanding anything contained in section 14, in case of the minor, those who are less than 18 year of age, the legal guardian shall be their nominated representative. So if you are above the age of 18 year, you can choose your nominative by yourself. But if you are minor and your age is less than 18, then your representative, that they will be your guardian, either your parent or your caretakers, shall be their nominated representative, unless the concerned board order otherwise under subsection. Okay, if it is any legal case, if court order for other kind of a representative, then only for the minors there are the nominated representative that are given from the court side. Otherwise, guardian or the first primary caretaker will be the representative. Revocation, alteration, or nominated representative by the board. Duties of the nominated representatives. Now, in the chapter 5, it is about the right. So here we will discuss the right of the mentally ill person. First, are the right to access the mental health care. So every individual in the society have the right to access the mental health facilities that are available in the hospital, at the primary health care center, at community health center, at district level, or at the tertiary level. So whatsoever mental health facilities are available, they have the right to access that. So right to the community living. So if you are with a mental illness, you can't be get stigmatized by the society people, and they can't boycott you. It is your right ki you can stay at that community, you can communicate with those people, and you can involve in the social functioning even. No one have the right to boycott you, and no one can stigmatize you for your mental illness. So that is under the right. Next is right to protection from cruel, inhuman, and degrading treatment. So it is about the previous way of the treatment, about the 19th era, sorry, previous era, when what happened if you are insane, you are mentally ill. So everyone consider you as a person with the previous age, or you can say previous life since. Men, you are facing all this because of the previous life pap or sin. So they will keep you in the jail kind of asylum was the word used. They used to put you into the asylum where there is no treatment, no person for the care of you. You will die by there will be chaining, restraining of you, or providing current directly to your bilateral means to the temporal regions. So that was the way of treating the mentally ill person. But nowadays, if anyone perform any kind of a activity that is cruel, that is kind of a inhuman, and that is not protecting the right of the mentally ill person, then they can be sued to the court, and there will be the legalities. The professional can go under the legal cases if they means they are failed, or they are giving any kind of a cruel treatment to the patient. Next is right to equality and non discrimination. So every mental ill person should be treated as same as the person with the physical illness. You can't discriminate between the two person, or you can't be like ओ ये तो पागल है, इसको क्या ट्रीटमेंट देनी है, ओ ये तो फिजिकल इलनेस के साथ है, ये ठीक हो जाएगा, लेट गिव द प्रायोरिटी टू दैट पेशेंट. नो, you should treat every patient with equality. Ki every patient with the same kind of a disorder or the mental illness, they should be treated equally, and there should not be discrimination on the basis of caste, कि ये इस जात का है, I'll not give, means prejudice should not be there कि ये caste है मैं नहीं करूँगा. Next is what, creed, color, religion. So all these things should not be a matter of a concern while you are providing care to the person as a health personnel, because in your oath you always have said you will treat every person with equality and equity. So discrimination should not be there, and if you are doing any kind of a discrimination with the patient, it can show you to the court. Next is right to information. You have to give information to the person with, while you are providing care to the patient, because either the person is mentally stable or not. If he is, so you will provide information to the patient only, and if not, then the provider, sorry, healthcare, sorry, the representative or the guardian of the, can say, first hand caretaker of the person should be provided with the information, and the written consent to be taken before every or any kind of a treatment you are choosing for the patient. So you have to explain the pros and cons of that treatment, and you have to take the consent. So information including consent, and consent is taken by the psychiatrist or the physician, not by the nurses. The nurse's work is just to check either the consent has been taken or not before giving any kind of, before implementing the plan that is being planned by the nurse and the psychiatrist together. Next is right to confidentiality. While you are treating the person, okay, whenever you visit any mental hospital, it is not same as the general hospital. You will not able to get the files of those patients, because it is the matter of confidentiality. You will not come to know about the complete history of the patient until or unless it is a requirement. So it is just the maintenance of the confidentiality. They will not provide you with the record and the report of the patient, because in the psychiatry what happened, there is a complete psychiatric history, complete family history, complete previous life is being mentioned there. So if you, so for that reason, only the concerned person, either the physician, psychiatrist, nurse, those people are able to access the recording and reporting, or can the hospital file of the mentally ill person, but not everyone. Next is restriction on the release of the information in respect of the mental illness. So there is a restriction, some kind of restrictions are there. So that is based key person is with which mental illness, and either it is effective to tell him about the disease or other information to be given to him or not. So that completely depend. Next is right to access the medical record. Patient or guardians can access to the records which are not available for everyone. ठीक है. So even sometime if there is any legal case, medical legal cases going, police is involved, court is involved, then there is the, like, records are to be provided to those people for the upgoing proceeding for their case and all. Next is right to the personal contact and the communication. If so, the mentally ill person can make a phone call to their relative. They can write, even they can talk to their relative. They can pass their information. They can communicate with whomsoever they want. Next is right to the legal aid. Means if they feel that there is any kind of injustice happening with them, so they can proceed with the court cases. They can go to the court. They can means they can hire their lawyer, and they can proceed with the court proceedings. Next is right to make the complaints about deficiencies in provision of the service. So whenever inspection have occurs, the inspection person also used to ask the sorry, patients about the care they are getting, the services they are getting, and they have the right to make the complaint. Either they can give the suggestion, they can give the complaint, everything they can do. So that's all about today's topic. In next topic we will continue with the chapter 4, and we will continue with drug addiction program. So thank you and have a nice day.